Hello and good evening to anyone who happens to be able to listen on this, the day after Boxing Day, the day of rest for many of you, when you've probably recovered from your Christmas feasting and your merriment and jolliment, and others of you are still enjoying whatever excitement that you have in store for the coming days before the new year, in this period of grim weather. And good evening to Melissa and Mother Duck. There has been some changes on this channel today with some editing because of some naughtiness perpetrated by somebody who will remain nameless, but if this person tries to do this again, we will get rid of them yet again. So for now, it is a matter of how this whole situation is run here. I'm learning about this whole channel and how people also take advantage of it and use fake names and do all sorts of silly things. So, we say good evening to Melissa and Mother Duck, Jonas, Mickey, and Chantal. There we go. So there's a few little different things I can talk to you about this evening. And we can begin, I suppose, once a few more of you have come in. So I don't know if any of you have any questions amongst you or comments to make. If you do, please send them in. Hopefully our friend Harriet, also known as the Honorary Debbie McGee, will be back. Whether this is the correct Harriet, I don't know. Yes, this Harriet, who's just come in, is it the correct one? That is something I cannot fathom the answer to, but if Harriet would like to send me an email right now, then Harriet, that is present, I will see if you are the same one and the same Harriet. Melissa comments, it's not long till the big reveal of the 1st of January. Yes, that could be something that could bring all sorts, and I've got a little bit much to mention about that later on. So I won't go on for long. Jonas asks any update about the Stuart Lubbock case. Presently, I don't know of any further developments, sadly. I do hope that one day, and then that one day comes in 2024, somebody does something to help that poor family who have been helped in no way at all by the reprehensible Michael Barrymore, who allowed 9 people to go to a party and only one of them lived at his home. And out of those 9 people, at least 2 of them participated in the death of one of those people, and it is shocking that justice has not been done yet for those people. So I do think that is a great pity and a great shame, and a great injustice for the family of Stuart Lubbock, who have spent yet another Christmas that they should have spent with him. And of course, they never got to do that because of the terrible things that occurred to him at that house. Well, I haven't had a message from the particular Harriet yet, so I don't know if this Harriet is the correct Harriet or whether this is someone pretending to be Harriet, because the genuine Harriet is very upset that people are impersonating her. So we don't say cheers to those people, but I have been learning about how to get rid of the trolling people and the fakes, and to try and bring back the people who shouldn't have been banned in the first place because of these trolls getting into the system. Trolls and Grinches, I don't know why they haven't got anything better to do, but they won't be getting back in very easily, because well, I won't be allowing anybody just to come back in, but if you're rude, you will be told to bog off. So now there are quite a few of you here. We can move on to our first topic. I just listened to a very good radio program on the BBC. I'll send you the link on Radio 4. My Radio 4 whilst I'm cooking. I have the Archers on, and then I normally have whatever program comes next. So here is the program I watched today, This Cultural Life, which was about Sam Mendes and, how he made his mark at the Donmar Warehouse, which is one of the best theatres, I think, in the whole of London. It produces, fantastic things. And, he won 2 Oscars for, his film 1917, and he directed the James Bond movies Skyfall and Spectre. And he was knighted, a couple of years ago. How he got into acting, how he got into production, and quite frankly, I found it very revealing. And it was 44 minutes of very fascinating stories about his own life and how he made a film in the next town to here recently called Empire of Light, which I have not seen. I wasn't especially tempted by it because it didn't really appeal, but I think many of his other works are very, very good. And I do urge you to watch to listen to this particular program about him. He's had quite a life. He was previously married to Kate Winslet, of course. They got divorced after being married in 2003 and 2011. His grandfather was in the there we go. So I'm just getting a message from our famous lady who says that there are the people here who are causing the nuisance. So there we are. I don't know how we allow her back in, but if we could, I would, but she needs to have the tool, but I don't know is how to add her because she hasn't left a message. So if you would like to make a comment correctly, Harriet, I don't know how we add you, so I have to probably leave that for the moment unless you leave another message. Now I don't know how to do this. I have no understanding of how to add people when I can't see them in the vicinity. So unfortunately I cannot add her presently because I don't know if she's the correct one. So I don't know how you actually managed to do this, but there we go. While someone is live, if to add them, I have to click something, and well, I'm not adding someone who's going to start deleting everything. So unfortunately, I don't know how to do this for the moment. There we are. Anyway, but Sam Mendes, I will continue, is a man who's achieved a lot, and he's had a very interesting career, and especially in the theatres and in Donmar Warehouse from 1990 to 2002. And I went to quite a number of his plays and productions, and he is particularly excellent and has worked with some amazing people, and he's had quite a life. So I would urge you to have a listen to that particular program. He made American Beauty, Road to Perdition, Skyfall, Spectre, 1917, Empire of Light, and has been involved in many other different things, from Henry V to the Hollow Crown, and to all sorts of other things. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, The Ferryman, Gypsy, all sorts of very interesting things. The Lehman Trilogy, and he keeps himself very busy. So please do have a listen and enjoy that. Busted says, my posts appear and then disappear. Well, I think Busted is still allowed here. You are seen by me, so I don't think the Busted has disappeared. So I don't know how to deal with any of this. I don't understand it, so very sorry, can't do anything about that until I learn how to deal with it. Or have somebody else come and help me. And my technical person has not come back yet, so I'm very, very sorry, but I cannot do anything about this kind of nonsense. But there we are. It's probably better just not to talk about it. The spanner will come up. Oh, right. Well, look for the ribbon in her name, she says. Now, well, I have to make sure this is the correct Diane White for a start. Also known as Harriet. Well, let me just have a look. Sorry, this is very boring for the rest of you, and I think it is very unfortunate that we have to keep going through this, but I don't know which one is which. And right, the one with the ribbon, right. Well, I will try adding you now, but please don't go around deleting everybody else, because half of them are not to be deleted. I would rather they weren't. And I will give you the ability to do some moderation. Harriet, I hope you are the correct Harriet, because if you're not, we're going to have yet more havoc here, and that could be more problematic. So, but there are plenty of people here who are being perfectly polite, so please don't ban everybody. And the comments are coming in thick and fast. Right. Well, I don't quite know, but there we go. So we will see if this works, and if it doesn't, then we will just have yet more problems, and I will have to close the whole thing down again. So I'm very sorry to have to keep going on about this boringness. This is not making for very interesting viewing, in my opinion. So, and now I have to try and reveal if this has worked. So, I really don't know whether this is correct. And yes, we will see. Well, I did attempt to do this, but I don't know if it worked. Yes, well, we will see if it does work, and if it doesn't work, we will know otherwise to soon effect. Yes, we will carry on. So, yes, please watch the Sam Mendes, or listen to the Sam Mendes program. And there is the link yet again for you. So we will move along swiftly to talk about my petition is still going. And is yet to take off because I think it's Christmas. Michelle Mone, please sign. If you haven't already signed, please sign. We really would like to have more signatures. My other petition got over 47,000 signatures and has made some impact. So it's time to make some impact about Michelle Mone. And I don't think I need to say much about her, but please, will you sign and share the petition about her? that would be very helpful if you could do that this evening, if you haven't already. Yesterday, it was reported that the Australian chef Bill Granger had died peacefully in hospital on Christmas Day. Now, I never met Mr. Granger personally. I did know his PR people. I knew many of his staff from their restaurant in, one in Notting Hill, which I went to a couple of times, and another in Pavilion Road in near Sloane Square. I gave a dinner for a charity there for 50 people, and I had many wonderful times and sat in their lovely courtyard on many an occasion. I even had a run-in with Tamara Eccleston there, where the police were involved, and also with the dreaded Sam Palmer, who is married to the sister of the dreaded Tamara. So I knew the restaurant well, and I did have to say I liked sitting at their bar to do a crossword, the Times crossword, which I always enjoyed. Most days it was a lovely part of my daily routine was to go there and have a glass of wine or something stronger and to do the crossword. And much of their food was very good. Now, he was famous for avocado on toast. Now, of course, he claims he didn't actually come up with this, but he was lauded as Mr. Avocado on Toast. And I have to say, he was a clever gentleman who knew how to certainly run a restaurant in a different way, a more Australian way, and a more informal way than most British restaurateurs. There were no bookings for breakfast or lunch, and people stood in queues, but I always walked around the queue. I'm not into queues. I'm not very British in that regard. Can't see the point of a queue, to be honest. But I'm not quite as bad as Holly Willoughby, but because I was there most days when I used to go there, I used to be able just to walk in and go and stand at the bar, which I preferred, which I was quite happy to do, and wait there rather than stand outside in a queue, which I don't see the point of. But of course, there were lots of those yummy Chelsea mummies who all turn up with their huge pushchairs, and of course they had to stand in these queues because they wanted to protect their silly pushchairs. And yes, it was a good restaurant to go to very much for me when I was living in that area more permanently. And I have to say, we had many good times there, jolly times, and the staff were very jolly people. I'm still in touch with quite a few of them, and I don't go there now, but that's because when I go to London, I normally go to other places. It was always a more casual place, whereas when I go to London now, I tend to plan and go elsewhere. But I have to say, it's very sad that this man, Bill Granger, died at the age of 54. A father of 3 children, and him and his wife had adopted London as their home. He's known as the King of Breakfast, and he had a mother who was vegetarian and a father who was involved in butchery. So it's quite a contrast. And he and his wife had a total of 19 restaurants, and he loved London in 3 words. He summed it up as home, fun, and sunny. He said, "We were living by the beach in Sydney, which is a real car city. We had an estate car, and I felt like we'd become a bit suburban. So we decided to change our lives and move to Notting Hill for a year back in 2009. We kind of accidentally emigrated." He was lauded by people like Jamie Oliver, and even the dreaded Nigella Lawson-Saatchi, or whatever she calls herself now, who is a bit loopy. She was going on about how she doesn't like the word microwave. She calls it that thing or something now. But there we went. This poor man, along with my good friend Russell Norman, who died recently. it's sad these people die young. That's very, very sad indeed. So it's terrible. And moving on to something more bonkers, that Rishi Sunak, after his stupid video, which was utterly laughable, in which he, pretended he was Hugh Grant and alone in Downing Street and a bit the Home Alone and that Kevin character, and was bowling things around and grabbing hold of that poor cat that probably would rather have strangled him than been with him. That he's now brought out, his in between Christmas and New Year distraction policy of bringing back the 568 milliliter size, or a pint to those of you who prefer it in those terms. He wants to bring back wine in pints. And, Robert Burns did imagine a man toasting his lover with a pint of wine once. And Winston Churchill was known for having the pint bottle for champagne. He loved to have champagne in his bath. The Sunak government have termed the pint of wine a Brexit opportunity. Now, if he really wants to do something that's an opportunity, bringing in pint-sized bottles is hardly logical, given that most wine bottles are made in Europe. So therefore, they're going to have to get them from Europe just to beat this European thing that they didn't like, where wine was in 500 and 200 ml, which they're going to have now, and 560 ml, alongside the existing 700 ml, and 750 ml for spirits and things like that. It is kind of a little bit ridiculous, given that a lot of this wine will have to be aged anyway for several years. So by the time it actually gets here, he'll be long gone. He'll be off in California living it up, and no doubt profiteering at Facebook or with a bit of AI, or working for his old chum Elon Musk. So I don't really think the pint-sized bottle is a priority in this country. As one English winemaker said, in order to make a pint-sized bottle, you're going to have to invest a huge amount of money. It's a silly measure because they will have to change their bottling process. That is completely pointless. It's not necessary. The standard size bottle of wine is 750 ml. If you're going to have 568 ml, why don't you just finish it off and have the rest? How silly. Excuse me. And my wine will still be able to sold at 500 ml. Half bottles at 375 ml are common. The 750 ml bottle takes 6 small glasses. Well, I think most of us can get rid of that pretty easily in a sitting. We don't all have to be told with this. And Sarah Olney for the Liberal Democrats, the party's Treasury spokesman, said, is this really the best thing that the Conservative government can offer? Instead of fixing the crisis in our NHS, cleaning up our rivers and tackling crime, this Conservative government has been spending its time developing plans to introduce a new bottle of wine size. You couldn't make it up. Sunak and his government should be flat out fixing the very real crises our country faces, not debating wine. Well, I think wine is a very important debate, and having good wine is definitely important, but I couldn't care less if it comes in a 568 ml bottle. I would rather have it in the 750, because these people will be charging probably the same price for the 568 as they now charge for the 750, so the consumer will end up worse off. Who is always the person that gets stung? The end user, because in the booze world, everything is about tax, and this is just another little clever scheme that is being promoted as something that is friendly to the British public. It's a load of bloody nonsense. Absolute rubbish and a complete bag of bilge, and perhaps they'll be serving Cliff Richard's plug hole fit only wines or Philip Schofield's plug hole only fit wines, and they'll be going down the tap. I don't know what Annabelle says. She hopes I answer your question. I don't know what your question is, Annabelle. Perhaps you might wish to repeat your question. I only get these things in the order I see them, and I'm mostly looking at information to talk about. So Bobby says the pint-sized bottle is just a nod to Brexiteers before the election. It's just something for pub goers to talk about. There we go. I think it will be something that has been debated in pubs throughout the land today. I haven't been in a pub, so I don't know. Not sure what was debated in a pub today other than that. But it was certainly a topic for Radio 4 this morning when they had James May, the Top Gear presenter, who was talking about poetry, and that was very much more fascinating to me. He loves poetry and he loves hobbies, and supposedly Jeremy Clarkson does not love hobbies. So I don't know why you can't have a hobby, but there we go. Will the pint of wine be the same price as 750 ml? I would assume, Claudia, that this will be simply used as an excuse to put prices up. And because the cost of the bottle to put it in will be a similar cost to the 750 ml bottle. Bottles are not expensive, but the producers will be paying a similar level of tax, and their liquid will cost a similar amount. So I would imagine this is just a way of actually getting prices to go higher. It's not going to benefit you, the consumer. It's not going to benefit any of us. It's a complete nonsense. And quite frankly, Rishi Sunak, go back to school. Stop pretending that you're on the phone to someone called Harry, who was clearly Harry Cole, not Prince Harry, but many people got rather confused. Harry Cole was, of course, someone who went out with your predecessor, wife, Carrie Symonds. And if that wasn't a clear dig at Carrie Symonds and Boris Johnson, then what else could it have been? I do see that some people are having their messages here edited. I hope most of them are being treated fairly. Thank you, Harriet. It's very kind of Harriet to help out here. But we mustn't ban everybody because, frankly, I like a bit of freedom of speech because, frankly, today, and I've got to get the name up. I took a screenshot of it. I saw that the stupid GB News had gone a little bit far, and in a rather confusing turn of events, said the Metro. You can see the picture. A GB News presenter has been caught blocking people who have criticised him, and some who haven't interacted with him at all. Andrew Doyle is a defender of free speech and hosts a weekly show called Free Speech Nation. You couldn't make it up. He is, going around blocking the world and his wife. I don't mind people who criticize me. Say what you want, it's fine, but just don't offend other people and don't try and cheat your way in and try and delete all the other people. That's what I say. But no, Andrew Doyle has made himself, a Wally of the week, moron of the moment in being clearly anti-free speech when he claims to be a proponent of it and has a show called Free Speech Nation on GB News. The GB News saga continues with, will they or will they not have to get some of their presenters off the air, given there is an election looming, the likes of Rees, Mogg and Farage, as in garage. There we go. So, and of course, the main backer trying to place a bid on the Telegraph and all of that. So we will see what happens. But welcome to you all, and thank you to Claire Leaky Land, she's going by the name of. Your message was appreciated, and I thank you. I didn't receive your card yet, but the Royal Mail is not so regal these days, and sometimes things might take 40 years to arrive. So I'm bizarrely have received many other cards and missives from other people, and post sent to the magnet most definitely reaches me, and post sent to this house and other locations also tends to reach me. So I don't know quite what happened to that card. It probably evaporated, and it could be swinging into action somewhere with Anthea Turner. God only knows. So Annabelle has a question. Where can I complain that my son has been neglected from the National Health Service? He's 16 years old now. I have no support. Thank you. I hope you noticed this. Well, I believe you could complain. I would suggest to your local MP. Begin with your local MP. It's your local MP's responsibility to help you as a constituent. So find out who your local MP is and write to them, and they will hopefully write back to you. You can probably send them an email. I would suggest that is the best place to start. Yes. I didn't ban anybody myself. No, Tricky Mickey Dicky. I haven't banned people. There's nobody been banned. And I don't know who the ones are. Right. There's never been a row with Sean Atwood. There is no row at all. So I think that's irrelevant. Trevor. But yes, I did appear on his show yesterday. And there we go. So I do think, what is my opinion of David Icke? I think David Icke is completely bonkers. I think all that talk of lizards and Prince Philip is just off the scale, silly, and his views on other matters. He's not somebody I would ever take seriously, but he's entitled to say what he wishes, just as Jeremy Corbyn's crazy half-wit brother is also entitled to come out with his poison, and just as Nigel Farage and Isabel Oakeshott and other people who I don't agree with, George Galloway, Diane Abbott, Katie Hopkins, lots of lunatics. Will I have people like Sean as a guest? I don't know really how to do that. So for the moment, no. But eventually, perhaps, if people are in the room with me, yes, perhaps we can do them like we did with Victoria Haig and the lovely June, who loves Boris and Brexit. You see, I like people with differing views to my own. People are entitled to express their views at their speed and in their manner, as long as they're legal, decent, and honest. And sometimes they're clearly crackers, but many of you probably think I'm completely crackers. But there we go. But I don't really care, and you probably don't really care either. So I just try and share differing views of differing types, and I know many of you do the same. So Melissa got David Icke's book for Christmas. I feel very sorry for you. I think that is an example of something that was discussed this morning with the guest edit by James May on the Radio 4 Today program about inappropriate gifts. I would definitely put that up there in an inappropriate gift. I would think people could give you something a little better, but if that's what you wanted and it makes you happy, each to their own. So I hope you enjoy it, and if you don't, take it down to your local Sainsbury's or Tesco and put it in the book club thing, and maybe somebody else might. So there we go. Yes. Right. My next topic. We've done the pint size stuff. Other than corks were popping, according to the Daily Mail, saying that this is going to be celebrated. I don't think that's quite the case. And they're going on about champagne in their particular article. I don't think that this is a particularly good idea, but supposedly some people are celebrating that. So anyway, that is that. And it seems now, in my final little topic, that Bill Clinton is going to face quite a few woes over his links on the 1st of January. There is an article now in the Mail, which is a new one, about how a man called Band, he was the advisor, Doug Band, advisor to Bill Clinton, and he will be named as one of those people to do with what went on in this list, even though he has objected to the list and also objected to people when he worked at the White House, keeping him involved, Clinton involved with Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. He was with Clinton for some of the encounters with Epstein. He was on the infamous 2002 trip to Africa aboard the private jet with Kevin Spacey and others. And he supposedly was quite critical that he was there before. Obviously, there were convictions in the case of Epstein and convictions in the case of Maxwell. I'm getting a message saying, "You're not giving me an answer. This is completely unfair. I don't know what you want an answer to." I have no idea what you want an answer to. I have no idea who has been banned, but whoever you are, I don't know who or what you're on about. So we are not going to allow people into this discussion who are causing trouble. I don't know who you're talking about. So anyway, the matter of Clinton's travel, he was on those jets many, many times. You know, Ghislaine attended his daughter's wedding. And he has had no end of trouble, this man, because of the association with this. Clinton made more than 24 trips on the Epstein jet. I do think that there is no need for any of this. What is my thoughts on Jesse Ventura, former Minnesota governor? I don't know him, so he may be on that list. I don't know if that's what you're referring to, or he's just somebody totally unrelated. I don't know anything about him. But the Clintons are going to hopefully find themselves under some scrutiny, given their clearly close associations with Epstein from this list. I have a copy of the list without, with the John Doe names. Many of you have probably already seen it. It is a list that is basically something that, frankly, will include a lot of names that are already out there, but frankly, there will be surprises, and then there'll be a few surprising admissions. This man is referenced as John Doe number 8, if I recall correctly. Let me just check. And he is amongst the people on the files, and there will be many, many others, and there'll be many ones that you won't even have heard of. There'll be quite obscure people, like many of the people I know who were on the address book list. They never knew Jeffrey Epstein. They knew Ghislaine Maxwell. So this was a book that I actually believe has more associations with Ghislaine Maxwell than did with this particular man, Clinton, or this Douglas Band, or whoever else gets mentioned. They seem to have taken out the reference to the number, but he was... he's number 8, as I did predict. Yes, I did say it was number 8. And number 8 is described on the actual current list I have in front of me as simply the material should be unsealed. First interests that outweigh the presumption of access have been identified with specificity. And then they quote various things, and he gave media interviews, was identified in the press. See Vanity Fair from 2020, Confessions of a Clinton World Exile. So that's the article that clearly links him to this. So that is why he has been named already. That is quite right. The sense in the matter is that, a lot of these people will be their names unsealed. J-Doe number 15 will remain redacted. The unsealing of Doe's 15's name in this document would disclose sensitive information regarding an alleged minor victim of sexual abuse who has not spoken publicly and has maintained his or her privacy. As such, the public interest does not outweigh the privacy interest of the alleged minor victims. So that is the reasoning behind some of those that won't be mentioned. And obviously there will be more conspiracy theories about those probably than there will be about the ones that get named. I do think, it will be a fascinating reveal, and we will see what happens on the 1st of January. So we will be seeing a whole list of these people, and some of them will be very, very upset, and some of them, well, they won't be surprised, will they? So some of them mostly already know because they've already tried to stop this. So anyway, this man, Mr. Banned, he hasn't been banned from the list, reveals, so he will be participating. So now we will go to our quiz. We'll do a different book today to have a little bit of variety. And we can begin with, let's see. Right, we'll do a different page of a different book. I'm not telling which book it is because then there'll be no cheating. But right, if Harriet is ready, there we go. What E is the wacky character Jim Varney portrayed in 9 movies and numerous TV commercials? Right, well, Paulie nearly got the answer, but we need the full name. It wasn't Eddie, no. Yes, Harriet is ready. There we go. We will see what is coming up. If anyone can answer the question. We've already begun asking the questions. Harriet, what E is the wacky character Jim Varney portrayed in 9 movies and numerous TV commercials? David has the answer correctly also, with Ernest. His name was Ernest. So David can have the point with Ernest. Yes, so we've got it. Ernest P. Worrell was the full name, but no one of you seems to know the surname. What PBS animated character has the trademark nickname the Big Red Dog? Leslie Wilson gets the point immediately with Clifford, and it was not Cilla Black. No. She does get an honorable mention, and you all think she was a big red dog. Well, she did have red hair. We'll leave it at that. Which word used to describe college grounds and buildings? It's Latin for field. David answers correctly with campus. Well done to David. David gets it correct with campus. Which choreographer played dance instructor Lydia Grant in the movie Fame? It wasn't Anthea Turner. No, Trevor. No, it was not. Trevor gets the point. You spelled Debbie incorrectly, but it is Debbie Allen. Debbie Allen. So we'll allow Trevor the point. Right. In literature, which Washington Irving character falls asleep and awakens 20 years later? Nobody seems to be knowing this. Now, Ed 0016 gets it with Rip Van Winkle. Ed 0106. That's the correct answer. Which adopted son of Claudius was emperor of Rome when a fire destroyed half the city in 64 AD? Bobby gets the point with Nero. Harriet, David is here. There is just a man called David. It's not plain David. He's got no surname. But he got there first. So I see these people, and if I see them, I see them. So there we go. In music, which Material Girl had a hit with Like a Virgin? Leslie Wilson gets the point with Madonna. Lots of you seem to know that answer, but Leslie Wilson got there first. Besides the $10 bill, which is the only current bill of a US paper currency not to feature a former portrait of a former president. No, it was not £20 because it's an American, and it's not $50, David, and it's not 1,000, Trevor. It's not a $2. Bobby gets it with $100. Bobby gets it with 100. Tommy Hilfiger's Fragrance for Men has the same name as what Chris Farley movie? It is not Obsession. It's not Cilla Black. It's not Eternity. It does feature the word Tommy, but it is, as Lily rightly says, the correct answer is Tommy Boy. Lily gets the point. Lily with one L up before the Y. One of the world's national flags, which countries feature in the most stars? Which flag of which country has the most stars on it? Leslie Wilson gets the point with America. America is the answer, USA. Question 11. For 35 years, the state of Vermont has held an annual festival honoring which type of syrup-producing tree? Linda Jo gets it with maple. Well done to Linda Jo. Question 12. What is the only animated feature to receive an Academy Award nomination for Best Picture? It is not the Pink Panther, and it's not the Simpsons. It's not Lion King or Snow White. It's not Mickey Mouse. It's not Cinderella, and it's not Jungle Book, but Lily gets it with Beauty and the Beast. Well done to Lily. And the next question. What name is shared by the most popular cities in both Maine and Oregon? It is not Bangor or Fantasia. It's not Michigan, but Trevor gets it with Portland. Well done to Trevor. What O is the type of tea which means black dragon in Chinese? What type of tea means black dragon in Chinese? Lily gets it with oolong. Yes. Well done to Lily. Lily must be steaming ahead with her, her cup of tea powering her into action. Her black dragon tea. In 1977, a California housewife named Debbie opened the first store of what worldwide cookie chain? So this is our second Debbie of the night. It's not Debbie Does Dallas, no, and it's not Millie's. John Cook gets it with Mrs. Fields. She opened the original cookies, Mrs. Fields. Don't know what her name was, but there you go. Other than Debbie Fields. Don't know anything about her, never heard of her. In television, who was the crime-solving coroner played by Jack Klugman? It wasn't Ironside or Tunics, no. It wasn't John, but Bobby gets it with Quincy. Well done to Bobby. Impact, striker, and soccer trainer are all varieties of what Wham-O footbag? Never heard of this either. This has been a very American quiz tonight. It is not football. No, none of you get it. You're all you're all way out. You've not got the... I will give you the question again. Impact, striker, and soccer trainer are all varieties of what Wham-O footbag? It's not a smart bag, no. It's not a pig's bladder. It's not a type of game. It could be a kit bag, but it's not. That's not the correct answer. I think nobody gets this. It's called a hacky sack. I've never heard of one, but there we go. Nobody gets that point, so that point gets forgotten. Right. In music, which parody artist recorded the songs Smells Like Nirvana and Eat It? Stephanie Walsh is close, but we need the surname. So Sonia Todd is the correct answer. Weal Al Yankovic. Weal Al Yankovic. We do tend to need the full name. So please remember that for future reference. Thank you. Your penultimate question is, reintroduced by John F. Kennedy, the highest award given to civilians is known as the Presidential Medal of what? A one-word answer. It's not courage, and it's not honor, and it's not distinction. No, it's none of those things. It's not faith. It's not bravery. No, I'm quite surprised. You don't know this one. This is a shocking one that it's not Valium, it's not citizenships, it's not Congress. No. It's not a Purple Heart, it's not Valor. So if we don't get an answer shortly, I will have to say it's not patriotism. Unfortunately, nobody gets the point. The answer is freedom. It was a Medal of Freedom. So your final question, since that one is discounted also, which actor played a young Indiana Jones in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade? It wasn't Harrison Ford. It wasn't Brad Pitt. We need the full name, as I keep saying. Jonas Hallberg gets the answer with River Phoenix. So do we have a winner, and do we have the scores on the doors? Miss Doors, as Debbie McGee could also be referred to tonight. So here we are yet again, and thank you very much to all of you for participating, even if some of your answers are completely nuts and completely off the wall and completely wacky. You know, who has continued to be dazed and confused, whose knowledge is very small indeed. If there's a village that needs its idiot back, let's be having it. You know, that kind of thing could be said to some of these people. Eject the idiot, but well done to the ones that have done very well. So the winner is, let's be having it. Come on, where is the answer? I think I know who the winner is, but I wait confirmation. So in the meanwhile, I will wish you all a very happy evening, glorious everything, and prepare to say good night. But I believe that the winner will be Lily, but I have yet to have this confirmed. Lily was steaming into action. Nicole thinks that she's the winner, but I think that the winner is meant to be Lily, but we will see. I don't think we happen to know. I think our organizer has disappeared. And good evening, and thank you to you all for participating. I believe it's a well done to Lily this evening. If it isn't, then we will correct the matter tomorrow, because I think that the quiz chief has vamooshed and vanished. I don't know what became of her. It seems to have left the building. So I say good night and good gardening to you all. Sleep well, take care, and as the late great Jill Dando once said, don't have nightmares. Take care and goodbye. Thank you.